Oh, you can get Lucas.
What's going on, guys? We're looking at a good one. No AC call. It's 77 degrees outside. It's been cool here the last few weeks. Things have slowed down, getting a little bit of a break. It's going to warm back up the end of the week, but anyway, we've got a Goodman here. No AC call. Evidently another company. Somebody was out and wanted to sell them a new system. Just told them they need a new coil and a lot of stuff, like probably those Yahoos right there. But anyway, I've got the thermostat turned on upstairs, but this is not running. So let's get the door off. See if we can get that figured out. I know it's gone through a 5-minute delay because I had to grab my bag and walk back here. So I do hear buzzing. Yep, the contactor is pulled in, but it is not running. So let me grab my meter real quick and see if we're getting voltage. Oh, 0. So, and the disconnect is out and set up here. So I know there are some companies, if they find it low on charge or half empty or something like that, will leave these out so the homeowner can't leave it running, freezing up or anything like that. Or sometimes they will just leave equipment off so that it puts them in a state of panic. Got to get it replaced now. Got to get some air conditioning, but I don't know. So we got a call. Contactor's closed. We don't have voltage. This the next thing to do is put the disconnect in and see what happens. Let me make sure I've got brake power at the disconnect and not a trip breaker or something like that. And we do have 247 volts. So let's stick the disconnect in and see what happens. Fan's not running. Alrighty. So is this a secondary problem we're having or what? I don't know. Let me see if I'm getting an amp draw on that fan. The first logical thing to be would check the capacitor, I guess, but let's see if we're getting an amp draw on the fan. Yeah, we're getting 2.8 amps. So I know we don't have a overload situation or open circuit in the motor. She's trying to come on. So let's check the capacitor and see what we get. Be nice this time of year, still get a good easy capacitor call. Makes sense. I'm getting the amp draw on the motor, so I'm not going to have a thermal overload protection open or anything like that. I don't know what size that capacitor is. This looks like it says 50 plus 5 right there. So let's see what we're getting on it. Start with the fan side first. And it's not swollen, it bubbled up, so that's the fan side. So reading 1. This thing to stay up. I hate mulch. And let's see what the compressor's reading on the Herm side. That's reading 19. So it looks like we got a bad capacitor. So let me go see if I have a 55 or a 50 by 5 real quick. Alright, I do have a 50 by 5. It's not used. It's just where it's been rubbing around. Test it real quick. 49.75 and 5.07, so it is good. It's the only 50 by 5 that I have, so it'll have to do. Get this thing changed out and turn it back on and see what our pressures look like. Where did I put it? Right up here. I'm gonna have to cinch down on that strap a little bit because the capacitor I'm putting in is smaller than the one that came out. The one that came out is a larger, fatter one. So I'm gonna have to see if I can pinch down on this strap and tighten this up so it'll stay in there. There. So I just crimped down on that and tightened that up. It's not going anywhere. Plug it back up and see what happens. It'd be funny if this is the only thing wrong with it and they're sitting around here waiting on a coil or a overpriced new system or something like that. All they needed was a capacitor. That would be kind of funny. Let me tighten this terminal down. It's a little loose. And my Herm wire. Yeah, that was a little bit loose too. Tighten that down. Okay. All those are on there pretty snug. And let me get some gauges on it. I'm pretty sure it's going to start. Let me get some gauges hooked up to it real quick. Alright, so I've got the gauges hooked up, so let's get this thing on and see about the pressure problem. Alright, fan's running, pressure's running. We'll let this thing run about 10 minutes and then we'll see what the pressures look like. Well, I stuck my hand up here and I got cold air blowing. Look at that, them things running in heat mode. What in the hell? Alright, so let me grab the meter. See if I'm getting 24 volts on my reversing valve over here. I mean, what in the world? Oh, set that in the right spot. So I don't even have 24 volts. on O. Let me go double check the thermostat. I know I've got it set for cooling. Alright guys, so I think I just had a loose wire nut up there. I took the wire nut off of the O and one of the wires came out. So I got it twisted real good and tight. And now we'll recheck and confirm we're getting 24 volts all the way out here. Which, if you want to watch that right there, you can see that we do now have 26.9 volts right there on our O. And the float switch is off, screwed up on the drain pan. It's one of the older styles that had the little sponge float on the end of it that flips up and down when it fills with water, and there's no float on it. So if it fills with water, it's not going anywhere and it's going to flood the ceiling. So we're looking at replacing the float switch. I'll show you a picture of that right here. Now that I've got that hooked back up, now let's turn it on, make sure it runs in cooling like it's supposed to. And where's my other phone so I can watch my pressures? Alright, so I turned it on, and what did I notice? Still running in heat mode, and I'm guessing that little black wire right there goes to my reversing valve. I swear when I checked that I didn't have it, but maybe this came loose when I was pulling these wires out. Be careful, I don't want to short it, but I believe it goes to, yep, that terminal right there. Heard it switch. Maybe I pulled that loose when I was, but I swear I didn't have that. I can't remember if I showed that on video or not. I swear I didn't have 24 volts right there. But anyway, I do now. Maybe it came unplugged when I was pulling the wires off the capacitor. I don't know. It is what it is. As long as you fix it. Now we got warm air blowing out the top. I'm gonna let it run about 10 minutes to see what the pressures look like. Alright guys, pressures are looking pretty good to me. It's got a piston in it, 123 over 290, 26 degrees superheat, almost 8 subcooling. It's a Goodman. Got a 19 degree delta upstairs. So I don't know where the coil thing was coming from, really. Maybe it was those guys, and I don't know. Things are slowing down. They're trying to make some commission. I don't know. Anyway, guys, it is what it is. Bad capacitor. I'm going to go up there and get that float switch changed out. And we are going to be done with this one. Appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, and see you on the next one.